Greetings everyone, boys and girls. This is James here speaking, and today is on to Tuesday, which means it's today on this Tuesday. We went on to a meeting centers at the Bundock with that Thai Autism Group associate at the Bundock, and today is about the weather. It is a severe thunderstorms and the windstorms are raining. It's so happy about the heat wave going out there. Such a hot weather, and they give me something making rains and thunder. It's a loud blasting of thunderstorms. So hopefully, before everything is going to be explained, I have to gonna explain to you. So I was woke up this in the morning here on this early the 7 a.m. and the Thai Autism Group associate the Bundock just have the floor within the 3 days appearing with the workout to the documents but refrigerating this be just have a bed just a longer serve into children including me and the personality just have a family and was quarter of his bed is heads up, but is a heading by is a directors of publicly that have the Thai Autism Group associated Bundock, and to nearly the Bundock, it's abandoned school that turns out that's within the Thai Autism Group associated Bundock, and social identities but with it had mental retardations of that's the woman is still into the big streams here just have the monitors if it's probably it's for which was made up purposely. This is made up for purposely to have as a flow have the 360% units of documents, and this was where it had just that 6,988% units of documents and associate have the 7,000% of units. So, and here we are just have the you can actually hearing with the thunder, and I'm so really happy to see it making raining and make thunderstorms and not gonna turn onto the laptop this today, and I could have to explain as I have it explained to you. So, and here's what has happened. They going to make impressions to the by Thai people at the less for 30 people, and as a corporate encourages me to that spur this I just had as a the document is for the documentary for as a refrigerator and so I was sitting as a corner with the right as up and said I and the Thai people has sitting on the court with the electricity to the plugged onto art to have the meeting center to have the main frame to speed and I just want to it's relevant that this mom just takes the help Thai Autism Group associate Bundock get to more documents for further to the 1,000% unit of the documents is united of the documents and to there's a documentary it says decisions to makes any of the decision to the document, and although first there I've had perhaps his uncle sitting as uncle sitting as a corner for up to at the talk to them and as a boring to of premisely as I didn't get to continue the suit, and then onto my friends' chat room just did not reply to here, and because due to the forced being the Thai Autism Group associated Bundock this and that this turned out to be this opportunity to set as it had decision to renaissance had in fact had on to realize is on to the realized refrigerator it's been and this had and no doubt it afterward the bed as well as not right to go into further as a figure is that that's being the Thai autism group associated Bandak, and that might have been the children's and the stickiness in the living room. Moms has spent ever worked as always at that time with a 16 hours the periods and despite being the uncles and the habits have associated assassins that the bed associated a disability, and this was a children has of a disability, it's ADHD, even like IDLD, and as physical it just have the difficulty levels of mental retardations that those moms have told it that he's right back to the furniture just as she said it. Oh, he says there's a special joke in here that he autism. So, but what I'm actually grandson. So, I'm doing grandson here. As you know, that have a special children that saying that special kind person. Talk about this. When I was a family to sending it, my step grandmother says told them that when I'm actually grandson. I'm actually only one of personally the grandsons that bed alone into Bandak. I just had opportunities as of different factors of opportunity. In there that had refers refusedly to refute the religions that they had was more piece of papers paper onto the data of a computer system. Otherwise, that as a push button come up, since as a push into it, and then we're encountered with that the fat kid and forgot he's the only friends as me and him for to them, and even like a person kind of children there, and children had a special children encouragement have there's nothing much else as special children, and to said that the special children and special kind of person has about right back to me. And this always said that his mom says that he says for the special children that he has autism, that he was at the something as like this, but emotional as like this functional so and right with learners. But it was said that a special children this, a special children of that about me, and I gotta have to tell you it. I gotta tell you something about me. When I'm actually grandson, that's right. When I'm actually grandson, with old grandmothers and step grandmothers as together with the renaissance of the family part times here, and the moms have the Thai Autism Group Associate Bandak and Mundak. There's a part of connect into all around this located in primary the countries of and inside instead have a site and separate the opportunities is of their side. That's just one of the bets to sit here long here about 2.5 hours and a halfway long hours, but it won't have to get this out and from the Bandak and to further is a furthermore. As otherwise that for the others said the owner to being to reveal to the papers and the documents. And this case they have managed to document that it does often decide to with the children to play it against that the partner friends with him and the mother, and it was there's a special and the special content being given opportunities and this ticket royals as roaming to autistic Thai operations roaming there. There's a roaming that has occurred to trick this that autistic Thai operation, and the Thai Autism Group Associate the trick this the located has still been exist in this year, and this is a post 2010 decades. And I just want to have to see instead of I just get the former of the students here. I just want to have to tell that forgot as responsibility and as response to a family and to refill for fragments that is for the truly as a bet, and God just have the badges of a prayer right upon it to propose them, and they take a break for the best whiles, and let's take it half a break, and I just aimed a little bit snack the sweet thing, and nothing going else. There's nothing fruit in here that in cafeteria as a restaurant the snack, but it's not gonna eat them as fruit. I forget that. And I just used mistaking, and of course, and currently the foods and the fruits put in the fridge, and all right. So, if may want to have to see that autistic Thai operation and Thai Autism Group Associate the Bandak, and the step grandmothers looking for the what will have grandson to me. In fact, that state as a conduct, it goes to 16 hours at later, and then 10 hours for later. But is others have a bed as a where it has a bed into to swing into the playgrounds and exercise, walking through the platform, the walls of the wheels, and the living rooms as seen the child and the special children just right back to that grandson onto the right for me. And in fact this meanings onto lifetime in this the real life in their real world for exist within that who was a bit to autistic Thai operation and Thai Autism Group Associate and the natural family of the disabilities. That's what should have been. And we just had to see this statement there that it was rise up to the Thai Autism Group Associate the Bantak have to for why to have the for why to have the for the 3,500% the units, and this go up to of the 12,000 and the 788% units of documents, and associated have the 6,577% of units, and then to go up to of the 14,983% unit of the document, and associate this document is also Montauk is questionable, and as a quality for opportunity and impression to them by themselves. Many things, of course, as that Thai Autism Group Associate announced that autistic Thai operation heading towards to the Chiang Mai, and in fact they will be forced to stay the 3 days and not going to Chiang Mai. In this Chiang Mai, there's always so many times the trip in this traffically that Chiang Mai is many people are traffics, and Chiang Mai too much traffic. But I just remembered was I just will remember where I was. I was that predicted that this was predictable for from previous the year as a routine. This is quite laddish too of this. So much to have to taking. I had it for the previous video so. And you're gonna have to see this previous years, have it look the years archive about my life as an independent career in this real life, and this was real world. So this is gonna have outdoors in this real world. Have you got forgotten that remember where I have mentioned that Thai Autism Group Associate and the Autistic Thai Operation nearly to Bangkok City, and then the operation is many around this criteria is between this opportunity given to consumer to children and the people and children's so the families and the children's as a surrounded for something like that. And Mundak have 33,670% unit, and then it rises up to the 8,966% of units of document, and it's going to be as it gone out to be as a right on to the right. It is going to be next to it to this. Everything says that people just had to doing so great, and to a previous speed had to bet its access too long here. And of course the Bundock the first day, and they finally they got out from the document and they got a release. They finally get released about that. And then just got out from Bundock and the trips, and uncles that start to look in hotel, and apparently the mom says given the choice to want to stay at the hotel, but it was just replied that given the confused and give me back to the bring him back to work to the suit, and you took me about this taking the hotel, and I don't want to go into the hotel. I just want to have to stay home for a while. I just one person, and not being without for leading to them with that Thai Autism Group Associate. In that Thai Autism Group Associate Bantak, they have overrise the increasive 10,000% units of document every single decade this year. They provide all around that located in this primary says different countries. What else is gonna say? Oh yes, I don't think that my step grandmother what was she doing just onto that Thai Autism Group associated into Bundock's onto it. Everybody just had this wonderful opportunity. It's opportunity to site that for document is sharing this together, and impress them, and given this effort located in there, and step grandmother says she was looking on into it, and I just had to. She wanted this going to have this. She wanted to have the bed to go into the hotel, and I just keep them refuse. I had to keep it refused to go into the hotel, and I just want to stay. I was adulthood. I was a 20-year-old, just a young adult, and adulthood had to give him work, to give him the jobs, and given this that, and don't go into without them with that autistic Thai operation and Thai Autism Group Associate. It is the case is that they took me in the pictures and provide. I'll take that pictures and videos for family and the surrounding people area, and they're gonna put them to the new movie project. It's about first being released in 2020 decade. It's gonna be very soon. So And I did want to go into the hotels because they want to have to go into forced being to get the state hotel, and the confused figure it is that as not being able to get back to ours, that to get back to the home, and this is homeowners, but not enough at that time. I'm getting on to planning it some time in this future development. On this way, it is my work here as a project. At the same way too, I'm getting to plan onto my personal life to have some time in this year's decade in the distant future development, but not today. And that's all I'm going to have to say. And I better get it calling with step grandmother. So that's all pretty much to say. I would have to say thank you for stopping by, and hope you see you around for the next update. As always, later.